As a fourth-generation entrepreneur and business owner, I know the grit and grind that it takes to run a business. With Chingon SA, we're capturing stories from other local business owners and community leaders to highlight them for you, our querido community of San Anto. From the culture, for the culture. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chingon SA. I'm Luis. I'm the host of the show, and we're a show that is all about highlighting the real stories behind San Antonio entrepreneurs. Not just the wins, but the losses and everything in between. This isn't your highlight reel podcast. This is about grit. This is about resilience. And this is about what it really takes to build something meaningful with a life that doesn't go according to plan. And today's episode, man, this one right here is powerful. If you've ever faced adversity, if you've ever had to rebuild, if you've ever had to ask yourself, how do I keep going? You're going to want to lean in for this one. Let's get into it. So today's guest is someone who embodies strength, purpose, and what it truly means to lead life, not just in business. Diana Moreno is the owner of RDA Fitness and MMA. It's a San Antonio-based gym launched in 2019 with the mission that goes way beyond fitness. She's a proud Marine Corps veteran who served 8 years, bringing discipline, leadership, and heart into everything she does today. But her story doesn't stop there. Deana and her late husband both battled cancer, something that changed her life forever. After losing him in 2022, she turned her pain into purpose, using her gym as a platform to raise awareness and funds for cancer research. As an ambassador of Tap Cancer Out, she's helped raise over $30,000, and she's just getting started. She's also a fierce advocate for veterans, partnering with organizations like Defy Foundation to provide jitsu. Am I saying that right? Jiu-jitsu scholarships for combat veterans, giving them a path to healing, community, and purpose. On top of that, she's a mom of 4, a grandmother, a business owner, and someone who has had to navigate loss, leadership, and entrepreneurship all at the same time. And somehow, through it all, she's built not just a gym, but a community. This is a conversation about resilience, legacy, and what it really means to keep showing up in life when it hits hard. Let's welcome to the show, Diana Moreno. Diana, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have you on and get into it. So, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Are you originally from San Antonio?
Not originally from San Antonio. Don't hate me, Texas. I am from California.
That's all right. You got here as fast as you could, right? That's what counts.
You know what? I love parts of California.
Yeah.
All of my family's there, but I don't think I'd ever go back.
Yeah.
Texas is home.
Texas is home. How long have you been here now?
Let's see. This year will be 8 years.
Okay. Yeah. What brought you here? How did you end up in San Antonio?
Military.
Yeah.
So when we came to Texas, my husband was still active duty. So we came from overseas. We were in Italy for a couple years and decided to come to San Antonio.
Nice. And so you guys have been here for 8 years. What's your most favorite? I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. What's your most favorite part about San Antonio? What's your least favorite part about San Antonio?
Oh goodness. I think I would say my favorite part are the people.
Yeah.
I think when they say that
that's a good answer right there,
is bigger in Texas, it truly it does. It is. I think Texas, it's kind of like its own little country community. I mean, it's not even like a state.
If Texas could, it would be its own country.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
What's your least favorite?
The food.
Really?
The food.
Wow.
I'm not a fan. Tex-Mex is great.
Yeah.
It tastes great.
Yeah.
I grew up in Southern California. The food's totally different
there.
there.
Baja style is very different.
It is.
Is that what you grew up with, Baja style?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. It's
I'm
good.
not a fan of Baja style, so it's fine. I guess we balance each other out a little bit.
It's like In-N-Out and Whataburger.
That's right.
I think it's that rival.
I have this meme that I post every once in a while, and it says how to spell In-N-Out burger, and it's Whataburger.
Oh goodness. See, I'm not a fan. I got to stick to my In-N-Out.
All right, we won't fault you for that.
Okay.
So you've been through more than most people have faced in a lifetime. How did your mindset shift from surviving those moments to leading a business and ultimately a community through that?
It was hard. It was a hard transition. Fortunately for me, I've always been a very strong-willed person. Ask my mom growing up.
Are you an only
sorry,
child?
Mom, I love you.
Are you an only child?
No,
okay.
I have a brother and sister. I'm the middle.
Okay. Oh, that explains a lot then. Yeah.
Middle child. But I've always been very goal-oriented, driven, self-sufficient. And so I think, and of course with being in the Marine Corps, you got to kind of develop different skills being in that type of that branch. And I think that helped with the struggles that I've had. For one, with the business, I mean, we opened in 2019. We had
right before COVID.
in 2020. Yeah. We were a brand new baby business. A lot of ups and downs, roller coaster with that. And then, of course, with the, battling cancer, my husband battling cancer, his loss, it's been.
Were you guys going through that at the same time?
Oh, just about. We overlapped. We did overlap. He was diagnosed in 2019. No, I'm sorry. I'm 2020. We opened our business 2019, 2020. He was diagnosed and started treatment. And I was diagnosed almost a year after him in 2021. So, with that and still trying to run a business, our kids at the time were still, younger. And it's just, it was.
What's the age range of the kiddos?
So now they're, my youngest is 12, and then my boys are 19, 21, and 22.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so they were teenagers when they were.
They were teenagers.
Wow.
And so it was hard. It was not easy. But thankfully we do have a really good community. Like I mentioned before, we're not from here.
Yeah.
So we didn't have family here.
Yeah.
And our gym community became our family. That was what helped get us through all the struggles.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people, a lot of families that stepped up and really helped us out a lot. So
that's so awesome. In what ways did they kind of step up for you? Like what were some of the things that they were doing?
Just day-to-day operations. There was times where
like helping you run the business.
Helping run the business.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was times where when my husband was battling, I was there full time, running the business, and where I had to rush him to the hospital or something, or long hospital stays, and I had to be away. I had friends that would come in that were members at the time, and we're like, "Hey, we got this. Don't worry about it." We kind of know the ins and outs. We'll open up, we close up, we, kind of just make sure things run smooth, and that's. I had to lean on people from my gym community.
Wow, that in and of itself just speaks to the strength of your community and the willingness. I love that about. I mean, that goes back to what you said earlier about the people in San Antonio. Like, I'm sure you'll find that elsewhere, right? Like you could probably have that same community somewhere else, but. I don't know, man. There's just something unique about the people of San Antonio where there's that willingness to step in.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. Even in the community that I live in our neighborhood, I noticed that when somebody posts in our neighborhood page about, hey, I'm down on my luck, something, I'm not making it right now. Mm-hmm. And people just pour into this family, everything that they got. Yeah. And these are strangers, you know?
And it's not, I feel like, I mean, maybe there's some communities that do this and it's just not like super public or super visual, but like, yeah, everybody, like around the holidays, there's all kinds of community that are, willing to step up and be a part of something, right? But I think it's those moments that are outside of that, of like that time frame, right? Like outside of the holidays where you really see people stepping up that sometimes surprises you, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. So take me back to 2019 when you opened up RDA Fitness and MMA. What was the original vision for that? And how has that vision evolved over everything that you've experienced since?
So I feel like the vision's always been the same. So our vision is just giving back, through the discipline of martial arts, right? As life isn't easy. Life isn't always going to give you everything you need. Sometimes you have to go through struggles, you know? And I think that being on the mats and training, you struggle, you know, it's a mental game, it's a physical game. And I think that, you know, especially kids coming into the program, right? Even adults, but a kid coming into the program and doing jiu-jitsu, doing judo, doing MMA, you know, understanding and learning, you know, respect, discipline, that'll take them so far in life. You know, if you can get through those struggles in a controlled environment, you know, you have those tools to be able to, you know, battle struggles and things that life throw at you later on. Yeah. So that's been the biggest thing, is just, you know, providing a safe environment, you know, for families. I wouldn't say we're a crazy competitive gym. Maybe at one point we were, but we're not just the, you know, come in and you're playing games and having fun. You know, I think we have a good middle ground, and I think that's important. Do you guys have classes for like everybody, like kids all the way up to adults and that kind of thing? Yeah. Yes. Yep. Youngest kids, five really? All the way through. We've had an older couple that were in their 70s. No way. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it was amazing. I bet. And so you guys focus mostly on jiu-jitsu and MMA. Do you have like any like fighters that come in and actually train, like that go on to like be on UFC or whatever? So we don't have any, I mean, it's kind of like we've had people in the past that have a training to, you know, to compete. Yeah. But nothing major. Oh, okay. We had an old coach that is, he's currently a UFC fighter. No way. And then another one of our coaches that is, you know, he was in the UFC back in the day. Yeah. So really good guys. One of them still current fighting. Where is the gym located, by the way? We're on the far west side. Okay. So 211 Petrenko. Oh yeah, like way out there. Yeah, that is definitely far west side. All the way out there. Yeah. We're one of the only gyms out there. Really? Yeah. And so is your focus strictly on like class instruction, or do you guys do like private tutoring, or I don't know what they call it, but I guess private training. Yeah. Private training. Yeah, we do both. Okay. We do both. It is more class-based training, and then of course, you know, if people request personal training, they can do one-on-one stuff with the coach. Yeah. What in your kind of like space that you're in, is there, and forgive me my ignorance, I don't really know, but like, is there like a certification that you guys go through that you get to become a personal trainer, certified fitness person? So it's martial arts, so it's a little different. Okay. But good questions. Is it like, you know, because like most people don't know. Belt system. Okay. Yes, belt system. So for instance, I'm the judo sensei. I'm the judo black belt. Okay. For me to be able to mess with you, I got it. No. For me to be able to keep my certification, we are a registered club through the United States Judo Association. Okay. So there's different organizations you can be a part of. We are through USJA. So in order for me to be able to continue coaching and to keep my certification as a black belt, I do have to do background. So every 2 years I have to resubmit a background check. Every year we have to do safe sports. So it's like concussion training, sexual assault training, kind of like scenarios, what to do in case of, you know. And here I thought it was just like Karate Kid style. No, you just go. No, there's a little more to it. Okay, no, that's good. I mean, I'm learning right. About that. That's great. That's great to know. I didn't realize that. So that's good. That's good information. There's a lot of people who want to start something, but quite frankly feel stuck, right? What did the grind look like for you in those early days, especially balancing family, your military background, your entrepreneurship, and of course going through all the you know the health, the health stuff that you guys were trying to manage. What did that look like for you guys? So it was not an easy path. You know, I would say for anybody wanting to start their own business, you know, I always say that you don't know if you're going to fail or be successful unless you do it, unless you try it. Yeah. And in life, as you know, I mean, how many times maybe does a famous actor have to fail an audition before they get that one role that's it, and everybody in the world knows them.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing, right? Whether you start something small, start big. It was hard in the beginning, not for me. I think more so for my husband, because being the breadwinner, I wasn't working at the time. We had just moved here, and the unknowns. I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's do it. We got this, But of course, him being, the man of the house and providing for our family, that the unknowns of, are we going to do this? And there's our life savings. We're done, or what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
And I think you're going to always have that fear, but at the end of the day, like I would always tell him, when we go, we can't take everything with us. So why not? Live life and let's try it. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Did either of you have like a business background when you guys?
I'm a business major.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have my degree.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's good. I guess the reason I asked that is because, like, for instance, I didn't have a degree, or I didn't have a background in business. I just knew that I was really good at sales, right? And I could grow. I could bring in clients. I was really good at building relationships, but the back end of the business, how to grow a business, how to be a manager to people, like all of that is, I've had to learn on the job.
Yeah,
realistically,
that's something that school can't teach you.
Yeah,
for
exactly,
sure.
exactly.
I think honestly, I think the business degree, it helped with the back end stuff. So I did minor in small business finance and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So being able to do like books, run my own books,
Yeah.
and accounting and things like that. That all of that part of the business, that's what my degree I feel like helped me with.
Yeah.
As far as the being personable and like you said, you knew you were a good salesperson. Well, you got to have a good positive attitude and be a people person to be able to be successful in that line of work, right? I think it's the same. It's the same concept. I would say that probably 90% of the people in our gym and in our community that have ever been a part of us in the past 7 years will tell you that most of the time that they were there, it's because of the community that we created, the environment we created, not necessarily because of the training.
Yeah.
Not saying that we have bad training.
Yeah, no, of course.
Got good trainers, but I think that makes a difference,
Yeah, I mean, but that you're right, and I think that's the same with a lot of businesses, right? Like when I've told the story a couple of times on the show in particular, but the first time I went to the barber that I'm using now, I've been using him for probably 6 or 7 years now, and the first time I went to him, I didn't like the way he cut my hair, but I really liked how I really liked the experience that he gave me. And after trying a couple of other barbers, I decided to give him another shot. But before I sat in his chair, I had an honest conversation with him, and I was like, "Hey, man, listen, I didn't really like the way that you cut my hair the last time, but I'm hoping that you're open to some feedback." And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." and I sat down in the chair, and I had a conversation with him, and he was very respectful and very open to the feedback that I provided. And when we had that, when we build that rapport with, the people that we choose to do business with as consumers, it goes so far in that relationship. And I've been using him ever since, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's not convenient for me necessarily. But I've not found anybody that has offered the type of experience that I get when I go there.
Right.
And I think you're saying similar,
yes,
right?
Same. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that makes a huge difference. We of course we get people in and out, right? I mean, we're not perfect.
Sure.
People are gonna, not like the way we run things or whatever the case may be. And,
you're not for everybody.
Of course. And that was probably the hardest lesson for me to learn, because I am such a people person, not necessarily a people pleaser. Like, yes, I want people to be happy. I do understand that I can't make everybody happy, and I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
But that was probably the hardest part for me, because I do pour so much of my heart into what I do.
Yeah.
And so it's not, to me, it's not a business. Like it's not really a business.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's the community,
Yeah.
and that's what I've always said, and that's kind of how I still run things. You know,
you're not saying anything that's controversial, and I love that. But you're right. Like there's something to be said about still making an impact while making an income, right? Like I think I've said that on the show a couple of times as well. Like, I love what I do. I have a passion for helping people, but that doesn't mean that I'm not in it to make money. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I wasn't making money, if I couldn't support a family, right? That helps to support the impact that I can have on the people around me, the
Right.
community, you know, the nonprofits that we choose to support,
Right.
You know, how we choose to get involved in the community and how we give back and all that kind of stuff. So there's nothing wrong with that.
well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, and I've said it before. I know a handful of people know this, and you know, not everybody knows it, but yeah. So July will be 7 years that we've been open. We're coming up on our anniversary, and I've never taken a paycheck.
Really?
I don't pay myself. No.
Can I ask you why?
Because I want to continue to grow, and I can't grow if I take a paycheck. You know, fortunately, you know, I being a veteran, I do, you know, collect my disability. I get my husband's now too. So, you know, outside of the gym, you know, financially, I don't need to take from the gym.
Yeah.
It would be great, yes, of course, to have extra money and to be able to do more, but I put everything back into the gym.
Yeah.
So we went from, when we first opened in a small location, we moved into another building. So now we have double the square footage.
Nice.
I did purchase 2 15-passenger vans, so now we do after-school pickup.
No
from
way.
School. Yep, we provide that service now.
Wow.
And then actually right now, since this won't come out for a couple months, I am buying some land to build my own building, my
No
own facility,
way.
so I don't have to rent anymore. Can't do that if I take a paycheck. Yeah. So
I love that
so
for
I
you.
teach
That is
and I do all
awesome.
the things that I do for
Yeah.
free. I do, you know, like when I travel for competitions and things like that, I do pay for my
Sure.
hotel stays from
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But I pay for all my coaches.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I don't think a lot of gyms do, you know, do. I do pay for my coaches to travel, and, you know, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of the people that help take care of the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's, man, that's so cool. I love that for you. But also we need to figure out a way to make you get an income from this gym.
Well, I figured in the long run, you know,
Yeah.
the other thing, you know, building a building is to have equity into that building, into
Sure.
the land,
Yeah.
something to leave my kids later on in life,
Yeah,
right?
legacy.
That is, this business now is my husband's legacy,
Yeah.
you know, and one day when I pass, it'll be mine as well. You know, I don't foresee my kids taking over the business or staying in this line of business.
I was just about to ask you that. You don't think so? You
No,
don't think
one just graduated from UTSA. He actually walks next month.
that? Nice. Congratulations.
And thank you. And my other son is going to school for business. And then the 19-year-old wants to be a lawyer. So he wants to go to law school. So yeah.
Good for him.
Hopefully by next year, he'll be transferring over to.
My youngest sister, I have 2 sisters. My youngest one is getting ready to graduate from MSU with her law degree next month. And I'm so tired of driving to and from because we've made that trip several times. I'm going to do it one more time and that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for your son. What about you have 4, right? So
I
your
do. My
youngest.
daughter's 12.
She's
I
too
don't
young.
think she
Yeah,
knows.
yeah,
She's
that's
like,
fine.
yeah,
That's
I want to
fine.
do this and that. I'm like, yeah, give it a couple years. You're gonna change.
Yeah.
Might change your mind. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How
so-
many coaches do you have working at the gym?
So right now we only have one full-time coach. We have a couple of volunteer coaches, which I like compensate them in other ways.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. But it's been that's another thing too. Gyms are hard to keep people, and that's why I try my best to
Do you
make
mean,
it.
Do you mean like like keep staff or
Staff.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Coaches.
Coaches. Why do you think that is?
Businesses like ours, you don't, because of the timing, it's not, unless you're there all the time, you can't really make a living off of it, you know? So the one coach we do have, he is one of our full-time coaches. And that's the hard part. You know, most of the coaches we've had in the past, great people, but they've had full-time jobs, and this was like their secondary. Yeah. And most of the time, they don't do it because of the money, right? They do it because of the passion. Yeah. And they love it, and they love teaching and giving back what they know. Yeah. That makes it hard. Yeah. It does make it very hard, you know.
How do you foresee that changing when you get the bigger space? Like, do you see any difference in how you operate now versus the new space? Like, what's your vision for that?
So the new space, what I'm looking at building is 3 to 4 times the space we have now. Yeah. So a lot bigger location. And so because of the bigger location, we can do more as far as maybe hosting, you know, tournaments or super fights on the weekends. And I just feel like there's so much more we can do. Yeah. I want to be able to, I do sponsor like kids to compete now, but I'd like to have more of a scholarship, something in my husband's name as well, that I can help somebody that wants to train. That's one of the reasons we partnered with the Defy, which is a nonprofit for combat veterans. Mm-hmm. I don't think people that have never trained before realize the benefits of getting on those mats and just grinding it out, you know, leaving it all out there. And mentally, you know, how amazing it is to be able to do that. And so I want to be able to give scholarships and do more for our members. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So you've turned your gym into something bigger than fitness, right? With cancer awareness and veteran support. How intentional was that, and how has purpose impacted your business growth?
So intentional. I think when we first opened, we were thinking about, you know, the giving back to students, you know, low income or that could not afford to do something like, you know, like train at a facility. It is expensive. You know, it is pretty expensive. And then, of course, because he was still active duty, I was veteran, we always thought about the military and how we can incorporate the military into, you know, and that's why we became an approved training facility with Defy. When he was diagnosed with cancer is when I found out, I don't know how, I think it came across my feed on Instagram, the Tap Cancer Out Foundation. And so what they do is they host jiu-jitsu tournaments around the United States. And every tournament, they, in order to compete, you can pay to compete, right? But the bigger purpose is to fundraise. So you fundraise, you get like different perks. You can compete for free if you fundraise, you know, hit certain marks, and that's how they raise so much money. And then, of course, they partner with different organizations, and that's where the money goes back to. But I found out about that, and I became an ambassador because my husband was battling, not realizing a year later I would get diagnosed as well. And so, I mean, I still am a very huge advocate, you know, for that nonprofit, and try to help out wherever I can. Yeah.
Do you guys work with a lot of veterans? Do you have like specific veteran classes that you guys do, or like what does that look like for you guys?
So we don't have specific classes. Okay. And like some gyms, you'll see they promote, you know, free training for veterans on these days or whatever the case may be. I can't do that. I would go out of business. Yeah. I would say about 90% of my gym is veterans or active duty military. We are pretty close to Lackland. We're not too far from Lackland. Okay. So we get a huge amount of military. Yeah. Not only the service member themselves, but their families. And we offer like the discounts to their families as well. So, we got a really huge military following. Yeah. And I think it's great. And I think that's probably why they feel so comfortable in our place is because, you know, most of us are, you know, we have that camaraderie and we understand the bouncing around from, you know, location to location, and just, it's something that you're familiar with.
Yeah, and it almost gives you like an immediate community, right? Like,
Yes.
You know, you all share that service, right? You all share the experience of being a service member, so you can connect almost immediately in that way. And then you guys probably all share a passion for, you know, MMA or mixed martial arts, and you know, that's something you don't necessarily have to talk about. You just get on the mat and get going, right? Is that
right? Yeah.
Is that the experience?
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of like that. You find out like, oh, where were you at? Or, where, you know, you just start talking and, you know, realizing like you probably crossed paths somewhere. We just didn't know each other back then.
Yeah. For someone who's going through a tough season right now, loss, burnout, or just, you know, feeling overwhelmed, what would you tell them about continuing to show up when it feels impossible?
I think the hardest part of life in general is to be able to get back up when you're knocked down. And I think that's part of why I continued to, I mean, don't get me wrong, when my husband passed, I took a couple months away. I had a hard time walking back in there. But then I thought to myself, I can hear him in the back of my head saying, what are you doing? Get up, just go. You're fine. It's okay, you know. But just pushing yourself to do and just keep going and do the things that you don't want to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I know not everybody has that drive, but I just feel like you got two choices. You get up and keep going, or you're going to be stagnant and you're just stop, you know?
Yeah. I hear that. I wonder if maybe you've felt this way or you know, talk to folks who feel this way in your, you know, kind of experience, but like, have you experienced a situation where, like, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, the easiest thing to do is to walk away, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Sure. But at the end of the day, because you're passionate about what it is that you're doing, because you want to continue to have an impact on the people around you, and because you want to continue giving back to the community that showed up for you when you needed it most, right?
Yes.
I'm always like, whenever you're doing something for other people, it tends to light something in you as a person. I feel like, and sometimes I feel like that's the drive that I need to have as an entrepreneur to keep going, to keep, you know, when the times get tough. Just as an example, maybe that it's not similar at all to what you went through, but I separated recently from some business partners that I had and restarted my original agency. And that was tough for me. And there were many points in that season where I was just like, why am I even doing this? You know, like questioning, why am I going to do this? Why do I want to start over again? And then, you know, I would talk to people, I would talk to my team that I have with me now. I would talk to clients, and my clients were super encouraging, and they were like, oh, man, I'm so glad to hear you're going back out on your own again. And just in those like small conversations, it was like, all right, I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. So yes, I'm, with that being said, I do have a story, a short one.
Yeah.
So the kids I think are what drive me. We had a child, and you know, I know this family, when they hear this, they're gonna know exactly. But when he first came to us, they had 3 kids in the program, and when they first came to us, the little boy was on medication. He was he didn't like touch, and everything we do is touch, right? You know, sensory issues, right? And I'm like, how are we going to do this? Because like, in order to do any of these classes, like, you have to touch another person. You know, wouldn't even hug his own mom. Yeah. And weeks of working with them and just being persistent. And he ended up being one of our best students, stayed with us for years. And he's a little bit older now, teenager now, but, you know.
Do you think he hugs his mom now?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. And I'll never forget. And his mom is a good friend of mine still.
Yeah.
And, you know, she always tells me, like, yeah, tell my story. Tell the story of my son. Because it was, I mean, he ended up coming off medication, too. I remember that day. I remember when, you know, it was a summer when they, I think, pulled him off of it. And it's just, you know, the impact that we made on his life. And she always tells me about how we made an impact in his life. And I think that right there is what keeps me satisfied with not earning a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the money, right? I mean, yes, that's like the icing on the cake.
Sure.
But I think if you truly have a passion for what you do, it's never about the money.
Yeah.
It's always about the impact that you make.
Yeah.
And that right there, it's the impact.
Yeah, I hear that. This has been a fun conversation. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
I really
thank you
appreciate
so much
it.
for having me.
Yeah, of course. If you got any value from this episode I would encourage you to do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear this message, because stories like Deana, they don't just inspire, they remind you what you're capable of. I hope that you will catch Chingon SA on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your content. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around. We've got more incredible stories of San Antonio entrepreneurs, leaders, and storytellers coming your way next week. Until then, keep showing up, keep building, and stay Chingon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next week. This has been an LIS Studio and Serafina Digital production. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite platform, and tell a friend about the show by sharing this episode on your Facebook and TikTok. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or someone doing really cool things in San Antonio and want to get your story on our show, email us at luis@lealinsurance.com.